A lot of people have been asking me how to break into product management, how to crack the product management interview. And I think the best way to talk about this is through a story about my own experience interviewing at Uber. And so this is a while back now. I was in Seattle, living in Seattle, and Uber invited me down to they have a small satellite office. And so I went in there, sat down in this windowless room, and the first question the guy asked me is, actually it wasn't a question, it was a statement. Design a refrigerator for the blind, go. I had no idea how to kind of tackle this type of statement or this type of question. But what I wound up doing was I wound up asking a bunch of questions. Because a product manager's job is to ask 10, 15 different whys to try to understand what is actually going on. And so I asked the guy, have we talked to any customers? What is our budget for the organization? Is it a startup? Do we have the money to even design a refrigerator or to manufacture a refrigerator? I just kept asking questions until he basically stopped me. But the most important thing that I was asking was questions around the customer problem. Because that's a critical step for product managers. What is the problem that we're really trying to solve? And I think what winds up happening for a lot of junior product managers or people that are pretty fresh going into an interview, they will get hung up on a question like this, and they'll just start doing solutions. They'll say, well, the refrigerator needs to have this, and here's solution one, and here's solution two, and here's the trade-offs, and here's the benefits. But what they often forget is the actual customer problem. And so as I was digging in to the customer problem and writing some of the core assumptions on the board that were kind of fed to me a little bit by the interviewer, I started to quickly realize that two really important things. One, the company was a startup and there was no budget for creating or manufacturing a refrigerator in the first place. Two, the customer actually wanted something completely different. They had a problem related to convenience, and it had nothing to do with the fridge. So as I started ideating on the problem, I started to realize that what the interviewer really wanted me to do was solution an app, a really simple voice-controlled app that was connected to an Alexa or something like that, and connected to a grocery delivery type, like Uber Eats type of scenario, so that people who were blind could conveniently get their groceries. If I solutioned for the refrigerator, they would have never invited me back. The key takeaway in this video is start from the customer's perspective and the problems that they're having. When you're faced with an interview question that is super ambiguous, once you know the problem, then the solutions become a lot easier to figure out. And all we can do as far as solutions go are come up with hypotheses, right? We have some data, it's on a whiteboard, it's a 45-minute interview or an hour interview, it's time boxed, right? So you gotta make decisions pretty quickly, but ultimately that's what they're trying to figure out. Can you, in a time box scenario, make a quick decision that is rooted in a customer problem and articulate what that solution could be for the customer? And ideally, if you're trying to work for a really large tech company, they're also going to look at your answer from the lens of, did the solution this individual gave me raise the bar? Is it a really big idea, or is it an idea that every single candidate gives me, right? That really weighs into the equation of whether the hiring manager is going to hire you or whether your offer is going to be really high. So it's not necessarily just a solution for the customer, but it's, does this person have the capacity to also think big, right? So just a couple of key takeaways. I found it to be a really fascinating example of the Uber interview. If you're ever gonna interview at Uber, you might very well get hit with the question, design, or the statement, design a refrigerator for the blind, and you will know exactly how to tackle it. So that's all I got for you. We'll catch you in the next video.